As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Well, the game did not go as we wanted, obviously. We've touched on that. But the Austin Sachs moment was pretty cool. The walk on at Baylor,
You're
where
giving your winner of the week to the Baylor walk-on, who, hey, by the way, not a walk-on anymore.
not a
Scholarship.
walk on anymore, scholarship. The way they presented that was really cool. Jay Billis there doing the 90 and 90 and announcing that. All the teammates were there. And then you cut to the game late, about a minute or so left. He gets in the game, roar from the crowd. They find him for that three. He was just unsure if he wanted to pull the trigger, and then ended up getting it up and nailed it. Game was decided at that point, but still a cool moment when you see a guy that grinds, a walk on, and you kind of get to have a day out of nowhere that you weren't expecting, where you're kind of the star of the show, so to speak. So I thought that was pretty cool.
You're getting soft in your old age.
Yeah,
How
that's
dare
true.
you care about the other team? What is wrong? No, it it was cool. I'm just gonna be real. I was sitting there and I just watched the Thunder handle the Magic. I was feeling good. I was having a good basketball night, and then that game took a turn quickly in
It
Waco.
did. It did.
And that it kind of felt like salt in the wound. Is that wrong of me that that's how I interpret it? I Instead of being excited for him, I was sitting there going, of course. Of course that's what happens. Of course this guy has that moment against us. That's
Yeah, I mean, there's some
I
truth to
felt
that.
like a victim, Ted.
I I would have felt differently about it if we weren't down 20 at the time.
That's fair.
You know, that kind of took the maybe that I had already entered a new phase of coping with the loss.
You were already in the acceptance phase. Got it.
I think so. I think so. But cool moment to I I can't imagine checking into a game like that and knowing that everyone wants you to hit the three, expects you to hit it. Like, we need this cool moment. The pressure's on. I mean, it's the highest pressure 3-pointer whenever you're up 20 that you can have, and he made it, so it was pretty cool.
How cool was it from the camera angle? What'd you think? I told you. I warned you.
I knew it was in as soon as it hit the peak of the shot because I was looking down into the basket. I could see he was going to make it.
Built that beautiful arena, and that's what they decided. Oh, I don't know how that happens, but I I can't believe that's who you picked. But I'll allow it. It's your winner of the week. I'll allow it.
Sorry.
Who do you have as your loser of the week?
I don't know who to really credit this with, but the talk of expanding the NCAA basketball tournament. It's 68 teams. There's nobody anywhere that is asking for more teams in March Madness. It's just not a thing. And it goes back to what I always say. They do not give a shit what you think. They don't care what the consumer thinks. The people that are watching, they don't care at all. All they care about is finding ways to generate more money. I've never heard. I talk sports all the time. I do it for a living. I also do it with friends. Never once has anybody ever said, if they just had more teams in the NCAA tournament, it would be a better product. Nobody has ever said that. Yet they are determined to add more teams to the NCAA bracket, and it's going to happen. It's an inevitability. There's no amount of people saying, no, bad idea, don't need it, don't water it down. It's great the way it is. Doesn't matter how many people say that. It's about the dollar, and they're going to do it. They're going to expand it.
How big?
I don't know, but ultimately it's probably going to end up hurting the smaller schools if they take away the automatic qualifiers, that get in by winning their conference tournaments, and the long shot goes in and wins the conference tournament, get that automatic qualifier. Like, I don't know how they do it, but the fact is they want to let more bigger name teams in that are attached to bigger fan bases. That's what it is.
I think it would be a massive, massive, massive mistake if they took away the automatic qualifier portion of it, where if you win your conference tournament. I can't imagine they're going to do that. I think you're right when it comes to they want more big name schools, and I think they're just going to do more at large bids. Teams
How do
that
you
are
do that though? Without
teams that would normally have been on the bubble and sweating it out on Selection Sunday. It's like, hey, you're in now.
Is it just there's gonna be more like play-in games? Is that how you think it's gonna be? Like how we have the 68 now to get to 64? Is that what it's gonna be?
No, I think, and I'm not good enough at the math. I think there's going to be a complete new side on each side to get to
128 teams.
64.
It's 128 teams, right?
That's what math says. I mean, why? What? I've heard some people say 96, and once again, I don't know how that works on the bracket. Do you get a bye if you're a 1 seed? I don't know, but yeah, maybe it's just more playing games.
96 that's going to be what it is because we can't go triple digits. Triple digits just makes it feel like there's too many teams.
Yeah,
96, you could swallow that. Idiots.
I
But
ultimately it's
have
about
you
revenue.
yeah. Have you ever heard anyone suggest there should be more teams?
No, and I think the funniest thing is the finals is already in April. It's March Madness, and the finals are in April now,
I know.
which is silly. It's just funny, but I'm still
I've
gonna
always said that
watch. I'm
the
still gonna
best
watch,
way.
man. I wish I could say, "Oh, this is stupid." Like, we're all still gonna watch it, and a bunch of
Well,
us
yeah,
are all still gonna bet on it.
I'm still going to watch it. I mean, you have to. It's on. What else are you going to do? But the interest level really trails off. And the reason it trails off is because everyone in the country has their bracket, right? And after the first weekend, 90% of people's bracket is ruined. And if your bracket is ruined and you're not someone that watches college hoops, well, you're not interested anymore and you don't watch. So that's why it all falls off. I've always said it needs to go straight through. All right. As soon as like you check out and everyone checks out and does something else, like if your bracket's done, you're not coming back to watch. You have to like keep it moving while everyone's interested and you have somewhat a captive audience. As soon as everyone's bracket's busted and the people that aren't like fans of the sport, they're gone. You have to do it all while they're interested if you want the ratings. But I don't know. That'll
I'm
never
not.
happen.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm shocked that you didn't have Tiger Woods in that Sunday red gear as your loser of the week.
I don't want to talk about it. It's the most disappointing thing ever.
They
How
made Sunday into 2 words.
I know. I don't.
And I heard the guy explain it from TaylorMade. He's like, there's power in threes. I was like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
There's power in a great logo, and it's the easiest layup of all time. The most popular golfer in history, one of the most popular athletes in history in a sport that nobody typically cares about. Everyone knows who this guy is. Everybody knows who he is. And it's not an iconic brand. It's the biggest flop I've ever seen in my life, and it makes me sad.
All they had to do, they had a lot of options. A silhouette of him winning the Masters. There's a lot of great options. It's all you had to do. And that stuff, I still think they're going to sell a lot of it, but they just overthought it. Oh, the Tiger has 15 things for the 15 majors. Like, no one cares. We just want a cool logo.
Hold the putter and a fist pump. That's all you got to do.
That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And I would have bought it all. I would have treated it just like the Jordan logo, just like it. But they went with the back vertebrae fused tiger.
Okay, here's what I was wondering. Was it the ultimate superstar surrounded by yes men? Like, is this like he thinks that he's the smartest guy because he's the best golfer? And
there's got to be some of that with some of the choices Tiger's made over the years. Got to be some of that, right? You got to feel a certain way. I don't know, man. I would not say that it was from the people I've talked about it with. We were all so excited, and it was such a letdown. Because remember that logo got leaked? And you and I, we were texting about it. There's no way. There's no way that's it. Like, there's no chance. They're messing with us. And they weren't messing with us. It's not good. Just had to do the silhouette. That's it. And it flies off the shelves. Flies. That being said, the shoes look pretty good. The shoes look pretty good. The logo is just
matter though.
The logo's bad, man. It's bad. Maybe we're in the minority. Maybe people love it. Maybe we're wrong.
No.
Okay.
There's nobody that loves it. There may be liars out there that say they love it.
Fair enough.
But nobody loves that.
I'm sorry I brought it up. But I really I like to guess who your winner and loser are going to be.
Would you text me? I didn't even want to look at the text message. Like, I don't want to listen to that video. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to move on as if it never happened.
There's this guy, they're doing this Q&A, and this guy is just babbling the entire time. And Tiger freaking Woods is just sitting on a stool next to him, really not saying anything at all. And I'm watching all these videos going, would you please shut up and let Tiger Woods talk? I want to hear Tiger Woods, not you, buddy.
I was waiting on Tiger to say, well, I wanted to go with the fist pump icon, but, they didn't want to do that. I got overruled. I say, no. Damn it. I will not buy any of that. I'm not going to until they change it. I say we all boycott it. They know they fouled up. We'll press them on it, and they'll change it and do the right thing.
Okay. I will stand arm in arm with you, brother. Let's get to my winner and loser. I'm sorry I brought it up. I know it makes you mad. I'm sorry. Let's get to my winner and loser. But first, attention business owners. You need Insurica in your life. Insurica is one of the country's largest insurance brokers with 30 offices throughout Oklahoma, Texas, and the Southwest. Insurica is able to customize programs by accessing the latest information from many insurance carriers. They compare and contrast coverage offerings and pricing in order to design a cost-effective, comprehensive program to meet your business's specific needs. If your business partners with Insurica, you'll save huge amounts of money and take back control of your total cost of risk. If your business wants to be best in class, connect with Insurica at insurica.com. That's INSURICA.com.
And head to opuluscom for our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear
out there. The Tiger Woods thing has you all messed up. You can't even speak anymore.
It does. Don't buy any Tiger Woods gear. Head to Opulus. That's OPOLIS clothing.com. Use promo code TED, TED for 10% off. That's opulusclothing.com. Use promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off.
Easy winner of the week for me this week. Give me the Oklahoma City Thunder. Went down to Orlando, beat the Orlando Magic 127-113. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, is so good at basketball. That's my analysis. Dude, he continues to just get better and better. And maybe there was a little extra motivation in that one. for him. National TV game. They don't have a ton of those this year, but you got a national TV game. He lost Rookie of the Year to Paolo last year. He was so good in the fourth quarter. He's their best player in the fourth quarter. He's turned into Mr. Fourth Quarter for this team. I think he had 17 in the fourth. And his improvement and the way that his confidence is growing, Ted, he's unreal.
What's
size? All NBA?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, would it shock me if he made All NBA, like third team All NBA next year, or the year after? No, not at all. I mean, he's got size. He's a good defender. His shot, I mean, we've talked about his jumper improving, shooting a three better. Guy can do everything. He can handle it. He is an all-around player. I couldn't be more excited. I continue. I wake up every day and go, how did Sam Presti get Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren in the same draft? My God. Yeah. I just wake up with a smile on my face.
Yeah, he's an absolute stud. And I got to admit, I didn't see it coming whenever the draft pick was made.
You didn't have a lot of knowledge of Santa Clara basketball? What's wrong with you?
I did not. But I am pleasantly surprised, and the kind of the arc that he's on, it's almost like he's one of those guys that is still, whenever you're like between like 16 and 18 years old, it feels like every time you go to the gym, you can see that you're getting stronger, and you can see like the muscle that you're adding. It's just like, you're going through such development. He feels like he's like on that type of trajectory right now.
He's fantastic. And I think when you look at that game in particular, Shea had a quiet first half, missed some shots, and it didn't matter. The other guys on the team picked up the slack, leading at the half. And then, of course, SGA, he's one of the best players in the league. So good. Starts hitting shots in the second half. Dropped, I think, 15 in the third quarter. Undoubtedly the best moment of the game. He does a step back. There's about 2.5 minutes to go. Does a step back in the corner. Nothing but net. Magic called timeout. He turns to the crowd. He says, go home. Go home. Gives him the thumb and everything. And it was even funnier because they were retiring Shaq's jersey after the game.
Nice.
First time they've retired a jersey in Orlando Magic franchise history. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
After the game? Is that something you do after a game?
It reminds me of the college football teams that make the huge mistake of doing senior day after the game, and then they lose the game and everyone's super bummed out.
Right. Yeah.
It's just not a good choice. Do it before the game or at halftime. And Shaq was on the call. It was really cool. And he was hilarious on the broadcast and said some very complimentary things about the Thunder. But that moment, I think we got this glimpse of how Shai is wired. And we don't get it very often. He doesn't show emotion very often at all. And there were a couple moments in this game where he gave you these glimpses of his intensity that maybe he doesn't show all the time. And it got me going, dude. I was like, yes. It made me think, I already think he's that dude. But some of those glimpses, it made me go, this guy is, I mean, there's just no doubt he's the real deal. He is a top 5, top 3 player in the league. And when he showed a little emotion, you could just see, okay, yeah, that's where it all comes from. It was awesome. I was fired up, real fired up.
Good. That's good because there's going to be like all that's going to have to come out in the playoffs. Right?
For sure.
Pressure's on and defense is tougher, and going to be on the road in some crazy environments. So I like it.
Yeah. Chet had 5 blocks. Not sure he gets enough credit for how disruptive he's been. And this really impresses me for a guy who's playing his first season in the NBA. A lot of basketball players at all kinds of different levels your offense, how things are going on the offensive end, can kind of determine how you're playing defensively. Sometimes you're not as locked in defensively if you're not getting your shots or your shots not falling offensively. It doesn't seem to matter at all how things are going offensively for Chet Holmgren. He's contesting everything no matter what. And I just think it says a lot about him as a player, Ted.
I think it might be one of those situations where, you kind of lean into what you're good at, and he knows that he can block shots and be a good rim protector. And it's probably something that it may be just be as easy as he enjoys it, and that's a good thing. So it's a good trait to have for sure.
Thunder heading to the All-Star break, 37-17, 2 seed in the West. Reminder, they went 40-42 last year.
Wasn't their win total like 44.5 or something?
Yeah.
To start the season.
Going to blow that out of the water. But they're going to be well represented at the All-Star game. Shea's a starter. J-Dub, Chet, and Cason Wallace all in the Rising Stars game. Just an extremely, extremely exciting.
How many guys will be playing in the All-Star game next year?
At least 2. Maybe 3. I don't know how Jalen Williams isn't. Yeah, I guess it's only 12 guys. It's really tough. And it's really hard to have 3 guys from the same team. But I'd be really surprised if it's not Shea and Jalen or Shea and Chet next season.
Especially if they make some noise this year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then they're in a similar spot in the standings next year at this time, then you're probably right.
And they're going to have a lot of national TV games next year.
Mm-hmm.
And they have very few this year. On to my loser of the week. I'm going Fox, CBS, anyone other than ESPN that televises college football. Because according to Andrew Marchand, ESPN and the college football playoff are in talks for a 6-year, $7.8 billion extension that will make the CFP exclusive to ESPN through the 2031-2032 season. Now, I guess they can't get this deal done until all of the details of the college football playoff are ironed out moving forward. But, Ted, we thought this was something that may get bid out to different networks like the NFL playoffs are. But as things stand right now, looks like ESPN has full control of this 12-team playoff moving forward. What do you think?
I'm kind of shocked.
Me too. It doesn't seem like the best way to maximize the revenue. However, Marchand did mention ESPN has the ability to sub-license some of the games. And remember, we talked about that sports streaming service that ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers are teaming up to create. Maybe they end up sub-licensing some of this stuff to their new streaming buddies. I don't know. Maybe that's how they make even more money. I don't know how it's going to work, but it does seem strange that it didn't get bid out to maximize the revenue.
I mean, I guess I can understand that if you're ESPN, you feel like you've got a tiger by the tail, right, with the college football playoff. And while you have the option, if you can keep it all yourself, you keep it all yourself. Like I kind of get that, but I'm surprised that they didn't work a way out to kind of spread it around a little bit. But it's hard to know what goes on inside those meetings and how it's all laid out. Like, I don't know how it all works, to begin with, but it's a lot of money. And I wonder what the revenue is. I know they're going to have to pay a ton of money to get the rights for it, but I wonder what the overall revenue numbers are going to look like post-production, whenever it's all said and done. Like, you sold all your advertising and like whatever it is that you can generate revenue on. Wonder how much they make off of it.
We'll see. But $1.3 billion a year for the college football playoff is a lot of cash.
Yeah.
So It's going to be interesting, but ESPN, despite Fox's best efforts, ESPN is the home of college football with
Yeah.
game day. I would say Herb Street is probably the face of the sport. You got McAfee and everything that comes with him. And now they've got Saban on game day, and now they control the entire college football playoff moving forward. Like ESPN they're all in on college football. All in.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, it's still the hub you go to on a Saturday in the fall to see what's going on. Now, you may go watch different games on different channels, but you're coming back to ESPN as the hub, so to speak, as you mentioned. So it's been good for them. Don't screw it up.